trying to make up his mind on whether to run or not. Kristen Welker in Iowa with the Clinton campaign. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. We'll bring in now NBC senior political editor Mark Murray and John Nichols, Washington correspondent for The Nation. So, Mark, let's start with you on the politics of it. Maybe pick up on what Kristen was just saying there. Look, Joe Biden is trying to decide whether to run for president or not. He is President Obama's loyal vice president. He's going to be for this thing. And now Hillary Clinton comes out and says she's against this thing. Is she sort of boxing Joe Biden in here a little bit?
Yeah, I think that's the best way to understand all of this. And Kristen was just right in her analysis and nailed it. It protects Hillary Clinton for her left flank, particularly against Bernie Sanders, who we all know in the polls is leading in New Hampshire and kind of giving her a run for her money more than we thought 2 or 3 months ago, Steve. And then there is the Joe Biden factor. If he ends up getting into this contest, he, as the sitting vice president, would be the only major Democrat to actually end up supporting the TPP agreement. And there's one other calculation important to note is that this actually helps her solidify her position with organized labor. We've seen some organized labor groups starting to endorse her, like the National Education Union. Others have actually held off. This helps her in that regard. But, Steve, I think it's important to note that what might be a short-term winner for her and very smart politics might end up having some longer-term consequences. And you kind of mentioned this kind of opens her up to potentially being kind of a flip-flopper. It makes her look calculated and political, not as principled as, say, a Bernie Sanders. But it also ends up hurting the Obama White House. It shouldn't be noted that Hillary Clinton backed President Obama on the Iran deal. You pretty much had a united Democratic Party, except for a few defections here and there on the Iran deal. But when it comes to the TPP trade agreement, you have an entire Democratic field as it exists right now that's against that at a time in which the Obama White House is going to need every vote it can get, and a lot from Republicans, for ratification.
Yeah, Mark, you mentioned organized